Welcome into today's video, where I'm going to talk about Max Kepler, who I think is quite underrated and due for a bounce-back season this year. If we look at his baseball swap page, we can see that in 2024, in 399 plate appearances, he hit 253 with 8 home runs. In the year before, in 2023, he hit 260 with 24 home runs. However, the down performance last year can be explained by some injury issues we know he was dealing with, as he had a hernia in midsummer that he played through the rest of the year. And if we look at his 2024 splits by half, we can see that this matches up, and he had a league average performance in the first half with just an 82 WRC plus in the second, supporting the idea that injury was likely contributing to his down season. Another reason to be optimistic about Max Kepler is that he signed with the Phillies, which is a good ballpark, and he's expected to play every day and not in a platoon. I think this will be good for Kepler's production. As you can see, in 2 of the last 3 years, he actually hit better against lefties than righties. And in the third year, even though he hit better against righties, he was still above league average against lefties in 2023. These yearly samples aren't big enough to be predictive. However, if you think Kepler is a significantly above league average hitter, like I do, then that should be good enough to play against lefties, even with a typical platoon split. And I still think he'll get some off days against lefties, but I expect him to be in the lineup against about half of lefties. And if we look at this 2024 baseball savant page again, we can see that he is an above average defender, which is one of the reasons I think his playing time is pretty safe. If we look at Max Kepler's projections for 2025, we can see that most systems have him in the low 400s, with a couple at 497. I think he's going to end up close to the 497, which is one of the reasons I think he's a great value. If we look at the projections for his weighted on-base average, where about 310 is league average, we can see that basically everyone has him coming in around league average again. However, I think this is a mistake. If we look at his seasons, we can see that his expected weighted on base has consistently been above 340 in the last 5 or 6 years until last year, when we know he dealt with injuries. So I think there's definitely some upside here, even when you factor in aging. He bounces back more toward a 330 or 340 weighted on base. And this is what his baseball savant page looked like just 2 years ago in 2023. So I think a bounce back to close to this level is absolutely on the table with his batted ball quality potential. We can also see by looking at the blue row of spring stats that so far this spring he's absolutely mashing, with a 213 WRC plus and 3 home runs and 43 plate appearances. So these are the reasons I'm optimistic on Max Kepler to bounce back this year. I think the playing time projections are light. The projections don't know about his injury last year. He's moving to a good park, and he should play every day or nearly every day in that Phillies lineup. That's all for this video. If you found it provided value, please like and subscribe.